Hey cousins, so of course I'm back with another story for y'all. Okay, this story is from Tamika. Tamika said this happened when she was about 20 years old. Tamika said her grandmother did work and she was not your average grandmother. Her grandma used to smoke, her grandma used to drink, her grandma used to do everything at that time. Her grandmother was the type that would put your name in the freezer to stop you from doing something, and that whatever she focused on for you to stop doing, while she's putting your name in the freezer, you will stop doing. Her grandmother also did things like jars, and not honey jars and not sugar jars. No, she would take your name, put it in a jar with water, and then go hide it to make sure you don't go anywhere. Tamika says she would see this working with her own eyes. Tamika gets a boyfriend, but he's like cutting up, like hitting her up every now and then. So she went and told her grandmother. So the grandmother told her, if you want to hear from him, take his name, write it down, put it under your pillow, and sleep on it. Tamika would do this every time her boyfriend would go days without talking to her. And every time that she takes his name and write it down and put it under her pillow, she said every morning before 10 a.m., he calls her. This is where things takes a turn. So her boyfriend is out cheating on her or doing everything that he's doing, acting like he's single. So her grandma suggests a spell for Tamika to do. So her grandmother told her, take his full name down, put it in a jar with water, and go hide it. And she's wondering, how was this even going to work? Because for one, he's just cheating uncontrollably. And for two, they don't even live together. But Tamika was so in love and she wanted her boyfriend to stop cheating on her. So she did exactly what her grandmother told her to do. So a month later, he gets into some legal stuff and get locked up. Now, he did not get a bond. So eventually, when his court date came up, they end up giving him a bond under the stipulations that he has to go on house arrest. Guess whose house he's doing his house arrest at? Yes, Tamika's house. Taking it back to when she wrote his name down and put it in a jar, on her petition, it said for him to never leave the house. So as he gets released from jail and now is doing his house arrest at her house, Tamika's saying they having the best relationship ever. He's so nice to her. He's never been this nice to her. Everything is going in the direction that she wants it to go in. Until one day, she's out shopping with her grandmother. And remember, he's at the house because he can't go anywhere. So when she returns back home, the jar that she did of him is sitting on her table. And he's sitting beside it. So he's asking her, why my name is in this jar? What's going on? And she's like playing oblivious, like she don't know what's going on. She don't know why his name is even in that jar. So he told her again to get his name out of that jar. So she took his name out and she said instantly the spell broke. When the spell broke, somehow, some way, the conditions of his house arrest got changed to where now he can leave. He don't have to stay home 24/7. Then eventually he ended up getting off house arrest. So when he got off house arrest, he moved out of her house. Then he started cheating worse than what he was cheating before she even put him in this jar. She said he cheated so much, it was as if he hated her. The spell Tamika did backfired so bad that she went looking for him in the middle of the night and ended up finding out where he lived at. When she pulled up to his house and he saw that it was her at his door, he beat her so bad. She said to this day she has permanent scars on her face because that's how bad he beat her. Tamika says she submitted her story because she wants y'all to understand, do not play when it comes down to these people free will. She says she has lost since doing this spell. She lost mentally. She lost financially. She even got on drugs at one point. She said, be careful. So again, y'all, if you have any stories that you want to submit, make sure you guys DM it to me or submit it to the email that's in my bio. Also, go subscribe to my YouTube. Click the link in my bio. It's going to take you right to it. Okay?
I think the karma for doing a love spell on somebody is that you get them. You get exactly what you wanted. You get them. Whatever that may be. You don't know. You don't know what you're getting, but you're going to get it. You know what I'm saying? That's the karma.
So I just wanted to share, this is a love spell that was done, I believe like almost 2 years ago. The person no longer wants to be with the woman, so they brought this back. It was actually buried in a potted plant, so I'm going to undo it, dispose of it. But I just wanted to share with you what it looked like. So again, this person no longer wants to be binded to this woman. And so we are going to release the woman from this man.
The whole point is that God, with marriage, two souls connect, become one flesh, biblical. Love spells are not biblical. There's nothing about manipulating someone's free will, because that's what love spell does. It sends a spirit of lust to torment the person's mind into craving that other person, and it's not their own thoughts. No.
So it's not even a love spell, it's more of a lust spell.
Obsession, lust, yeah? So they'll think it's love. Oh, I can't be without you. And that's why a lot of people that are going through separation and stuff, they go for love spells, because it does create that, but it doesn't last. So when it wears off, the person who's had the spell done on them might get a little bit angry, a bit confused. What am I doing here? This is against my free will. I never asked for this. You know, what's this about?
Whew, sorry, girl. Hi, story time. I'm back. So this is circling around the 20s still, my 20s, and my same best friend, but we have a mutual friend, right? And she got this baby daddy that's bugged the fuck out. Like when I say bug the fuck out, like he be unaliving people and he gets away with it. And we trying to figure out, like, how is he getting away with it? Now, let me get credit where credit is due. He is one of those dudes that when he gets incarcerated, he understands the law enough to get himself out of situations. I will give him that. But some of the evidence is prepondering. That's all I'm going to say. Now, I want you to keep in mind, before this night that I'm about to tell you happened, he had already beaten 2 unaliving cases. 2. So one night we out having drinks, having a good time, and he gets extremely drunk and he gets into an argument with somebody. And I'm just going to say this. Long story short, somebody was unalive that night. He went to jail. Allegedly, people supposedly had saw some things, but it was in a public setting and I'm sure it was cameras. He gets locked up for it. We like, all right, because this is crazy. Ain't no way he getting out of this. Y'all tell me why I say maybe 2 months later, this man is out on bond. I don't know how this man got a bond, but he out on bond. And backtrack a little bit more. While he locked up, my homegirl, this like her time, she thinking to get away from him. So keep that in mind. She trying to get away from him. So we on our way to the same grandma house, my best friend grandma, and my homegirl, and we talking about the situation, and we pull up at her grandma house, and guess who car we see out there? We see her baby daddy car. Nigga, what is you doing here? Come to find out, after the smoke is cleared, this man had been going to see my best friend grandma for work, and that's how he been getting out of jail. And let me tell you what she had him do. Because he knew he was out here in these streets doing whatever he was doing, she had him take High John the Conqueror root, chew it up. Every 90 days, he would spit it in front of the prosecutor's office. He would spit it in front of the courthouse. If he can get in, he would spit it in front of the judge's bench. Yes, that was his first line of defense. Then she would, if he would get in trouble, she would get a cow tongue and put everybody who supposed to have been a witness and spoke against him, prosecutors, anybody that spoke against him, and she would sew their names up in a cow tongue, put nails, everything. That would shush the people up. Then she would get courtyard dirt and dirt from the best defense attorney in our area, and she would put whatever her work is in it, and she would call it the favor mix. He would always have favor in court. Whatever she did, he always had favor in court. So the case that he was out on bond for, he wound up beating that case. Yes, he beat that too. But let me tell y'all, while he was around there getting the recipe to get him out of jail, he was doing love spells on my homegirl. Yeah. And before you ask, no, grandma didn't know. She just gave him the sauce. He took it home and he did his own work. He ain't tell her. She didn't know. Well, anyway, it wound up backfiring because guess what happened? He gets into a situation where he's with her brother, her older brother. And that situation, it didn't get her brother killed. It got her brother permanently paralyzed. Ugh. Yes. And before he could defend himself and get off again, Grandma died. Which means Grandma couldn't do that favor mix for him. And all the bad deeds that this young man was out here doing overshadowed the favor as soon as she died. You talking about wedge between him and my homegirl? And mind you, they have a child together. She absolutely hates him. I'm talking about she hates him so bad. You put her brother in a wheelchair permanently. And this is a very true story. After Grandma died, his case is starting to get more solid against him. And shit just wasn't looking good for him. Saying that to say, if you're not a really, really good person and you have stuff like that going on, eventually you're going to have to pay the price. On top of him losing everything, the last case, which involved her brother, because he put that love spell to keep them together, that case bonded them together all right. He got 17 years for what he did to her brother. 17 years. And as of recently, I heard he has some issues with his kidney. You can request all you want, but you got to pay for that stuff somehow. You got to pay.
All right. I just want to come in here and say, am I the only person that can't escape these psychic readers, these tarot card readers?
Nope.
All of those people on my For You page, because it's been getting pretty bad for the past couple of weeks. It's like every time I go on the live and people are live, it's them live, and then there's videos talking about, hey, you want to do psychic reading, hey, do you want to know if this person is a twang flang, if you want to know if this person is for you, this and that, and they're like, I suggest that you guys do not do it. And it was this one video that came on my For You page about how this girl said she did the love spell and it backfired pretty bad. And people don't understand there's different type of backfire when the love spell happens. If you constantly keep doing a love spell and it making you obsessive instead of him, that means it backfire at you. That's one way it could backfire. If you become so obsessive over him, that means it didn't work. That means it backfired at you. That means that you need to chill, babes, because you cannot force something that's not there. If, like, I understand you guys had connection. I understand everything was great. I do understand that. But if the connection is breaking, you cannot force somebody to love you, because it's not going to work. It's going to backfire. And I suggest that you guys should not do these love spells, because somebody on TikTok is coming here to be like, oh, you want him to be obsessive? You want to manifest him? You want to do this? I'm Haitian, born and raised. I could tell you guys stories for days about love spells. I really want you guys to really, really understand that these love spells are not always guaranteed. It will break. Maybe it will work for a couple of months, maybe a year, but you have to understand, you gotta keep always going back and redo it. And if you don't stay on top of it constantly and it backfires really bad, like that person could become very abusive, manipulative, obsessive. The list goes on. And this is not what you guys want. I want you guys to really stop. Like, stop. And you guys cannot do a love spell without protection. So stop listening to these people on TikTok telling you guys, oh, you want to manifest him, you want to love spell, you want to do this. Stop. Like, you guys should stop. It's not going to work. Like, stop. It's really bad. If you becoming the obsessive one instead of him, that means it's bad for you. You cannot break the cycle. And then there was this girl that said in the comments, it had become so bad that she was so obsessed with him that she lost herself. Like, she went crazy. And people were saying, oh my gosh, like, you did it wrong. But people don't understand that that's one reason how it backfired. So
please be cautious when y'all doing these things. Like, I would suggest doing it, and I would never do something that if me and that person don't have connection, I would never do it, because why would I do that? You know what I'm saying? I know the consequences. It just, I don't know, but y'all be safe out there.
Snacks in hand, the vibe is set, and once I start, you won't forget. Don't eat too much, because you gotta stay fine. But come on, bestie, it's story time! How did I even come up with that song? I don't even remember, but y'all love it. I love it too, though. But hey, bestie, I missed you. You got your snack? You got your rolling equipment? Okay. It's a reminder that I'm dropping my song on Valentine's Day, so check that out. It's like an early 2000s dance hall kind of song, you know? Anyway, let's get to the story. The story is actually from Nigeria, so let's call her Emily. So Emily follows me, obviously, and one day, Emily was scrolling through TikTok, and she stumbled upon one of my videos where I was explaining how you probably have bad energy on you and you don't even know. And so I was, saying the signs and stuff. For example, if it don't matter how long you sleep, when you wake up, you still feel drained, and not drained from being tired, but more so drained like somebody's feeding off your energy. I also said if you wake up randomly at 3 a.m. all the time, I was, naming a couple stuff that could let you know. And so I was kind of like checking off everything that was happening to her. So she was like, oh. And that was around the time when I first came out with my ebook. I don't know if y'all remember. So I was promoting and everything. Now, this story is in the time frame of a year, because I dropped my ebook last year, like around this time. Anyway, she saw it. She lives in Nigeria. She wanted to support me, so she got the book. She read the book. She loved it. She didn't actually really use it. Like, she got it, but she said she was gonna use it, but never did, right? So, 2 weeks passed, and she's scrolling on TikTok again. She's, looking for one of my stories. And so she finds the story, snack time, whatever. But that time, I was talking about a spiritual husband. Y'all know I be talking about that. And then she started to realize everything I was saying in that video, it started checking off for her, too. She can't keep a relationship. Sometimes she'll wake up with bruises, and she's Nigerian, so she knows about these things, right? However, she don't really want to get into it. So the most that she does is, she prays, but she's also not a big religious person either. She doesn't go to church, Anyway, she's like, you know what? I'm finally going to use the ebook. So she decides to do that. Now, she couldn't really do some of the spiritual baths because some of the ingredients in Nigeria, she couldn't really find. But, of course, she did the fast. So, first day of fasting, everything went fine. She goes to sleep. And, of course, here come the nightmares. I don't understand why all these stories are kind of the same. You know what I mean? There's always a nightmare after the first day. Or it's after the last day. Anyway, so she goes to sleep that night. She wakes up and she's in sleep paralysis, right? There's a man, an angry looking man with no face. The man has no face, but somehow she can tell that the man is angry. And he's just at the foot of her bed, just staring. The energy felt scary. But she said for some reason, she didn't feel scared. She was supposed to, but she was gaining some kind of confidence. So boom, that happens. Now at the time the book had just came out, so I didn't have too many reviews I be telling y'all. So immediately she starts getting scared. She's like, oh my God, what did Blizzy put in this book? Did this girl just curse me? What is happening? So she's on freak out mode. But then she felt it in her spirit to just keep doing the fast, right? She had to think about it she kind of is doing this because she feels like she has a spiritual husband. So the fact that she just dreamt of a man standing at the foot of her bed, maybe she's doing the right thing, right? So cool. So she does the second day. That night, everything's fine. No nightmare. She slept normally. The fast went great. And so she goes on to the third day of fasting. Third day. So she does the third day of fasting. Everything goes well. That night, she's anxious. She's expecting, she goes to sleep. She wakes up in the middle of the night at exactly 3:03 a.m. She went to the bathroom and just started throwing up her life away. She's throwing her guts out. She genuinely feels like she's about to pass away. But eventually, she stops throwing up after about 3 hours of throwing up. It's 6 in the morning now. The sun is starting to come out. Finally, she stopped throwing up, and she is so drained that she passes out right in front of the toilet. She said she had to have been passed out from between 5 to 10 minutes, because when she woke up as if she didn't even just pass out. She had all the energy in the world. Like, she's not dehydrated right now from throwing up for 3 hours. She gets up, she drinks some water, she eats some food, she goes on about her day, she feels great, she feels fine. And so, in the middle of her day, she gets a phone call from her grandma. She picks up the phone, she's like, hey grandma. Immediately, her grandma is cursing her out. And I mean like calling her out her name, cursing her out. Now, growing up, her and her grandma didn't really have much of a relationship. She always felt as though like her grandma didn't like her. So they never really had much of, but you know, that's her grandma, you know? So grandma's on the phone like, I always knew you was a disappointment. You want to kill me. You want to kill me. So Emily's on the phone like, no, ma, I don't want to kill you. Or why would I want to kill you? I didn't do anything to you now. And grandma's on the phone like, you will not kill me. You will not kill me. And grandma hangs up. She's confused. But little did she know, shit's about to get real. So she's like, that was weird. Somehow she knew it was related to the fast that she did, but how? Like, why would her grandma think she trying to kill her? Like, what? Anyway, fast forward to like a month, right? Within that month, I might add, she was also doing some of the teas that I have in the ebook because, yes, teas are good for you, you know, physically, but it's also good for you spiritually too. I have different teas, how they help you, the ones that boost your intuition, you know. But within that month, she lost 20 pounds because the fasting that she did actually gave her a little boost that she needed to actually start eating healthy. She was drinking the tea. Y'all, I am tripping. That girl did not lose 20 pounds. And what the hell I was seeing? 8 pounds, not 20. Said that, I'm like, wait, 20 pounds in a month? That girl lying, but I had to go back and check. Anyway, that's just a little like side effect. That was like a good side effect. Anyway, so a month later, her mom calls her like, hey, we gotta go down to grandma's house. And she like, okay, why? What happened? Her mom tells her that grandma's sick and it's bad. She's like, oh yeah, for sure. Like, I'll pack my stuff. You let me know when you know, whatever. So they leave, they go see grandma. As soon as she gets to the house and she walks in the house, grandma starts screaming for her to get out. Now, grandma is perfectly fine mentally. The sickness that she has is body. But when Emily walked in and she immediately screamed at Emily, telling Emily, keeping that in there, I don't care. Anyway, she's telling Emily to get out. Emily's confused. Everybody else is confused. Emily's mom, let's call her Mary. Mary is talking to her mom like, why are you telling Emily to get out? Like, we came here to help you. We came here to be there for you. And grandma starts screaming, I told you you should have aborted her. Well, backstory. Emily's mom got pregnant with Emily when she was 15 years old and gave birth to her at 16. At the time, she was living with her mom, which is the grandma. Grandma, obviously, like, you know, when that happened, she got in trouble. She was pissed. So grandma tried to convince her to get an abortion. However, Emily was terrified. Emily's mom. She was terrified, and everybody else around the mom, her friends, was also telling her, because at the time in Nigeria, a lot of girls were passing away from that because they were going to some dirty ass somebody basement, you know. So everybody was telling her like, no, like we want to keep her here. So she ended up keeping Emily. Mind you, Emily don't know nothing about this. She's just now finding out. Grandma is going berserk. As she's going berserk, she just passes out. Passes out for like 3 seconds and wakes back up. And when she wakes back up, you can physically tell that that is not the same person. Now, Emily didn't want to get into too many details because that was very traumatizing for her. To give a long story short, when grandma was trying to convince Emily's mom to abort Emily, and Emily wasn't going for it, nobody else was going for it, the dad wasn't going for it, like nobody was going for it, she decided to take it upon herself to go to a voodoo priest and sacrifice Emily in the belly. But because of Emily's dad's side of the family, she was protected, so she couldn't sacrifice Emily in the way that we're thinking. What she was able to do was assign her a spiritual husband in the womb in exchange for some things that she wanted. So given the fact that Emily just kind of broke that bond with the spiritual husband, the deal is done. So that's why she was on the phone like, you trying to kill me? So they find all of this out in one night. Emily's shocked. Emily's mom is shocked. But like I said, she wasn't the best mom or grandma. So although it was shocking, it was still like not so shocking. It was just like, you really went that low. Now fast forward to this year, she's been trying to reach out to both Emily and her mom because they actually went no contact. Now, this was hard because when they tried to go no contact, y'all know Africans. Like, Africans don't believe in that. So families were trying to guilt trip them like that's your mom at the end of the day. So it took a very long time for them to actually really go no contact. But her and her mom, they're doing it so far. And she just wanted to tell me the story so that I can tell you guys. And so that you can go get your own ebook and find out some deep family secrets. Damn, like I didn't expect any of this when I wrote the book, I promise. Anyways, don't forget to let me know what you guys are eating. Don't forget to look forward to my song, please. Okay, I love you, bye.
Y'all stay trying to do some damn love spells on somebody. Story time on a time when a love spell went fatal. One of my practitioner friends, right? One of her clients came to her, or a client came to her, asking her to do a love spell on, the chick's man. So she divined, and she divined, and her spirit team told her no. So the girl was like, all right, fine. So she, jumped back on TikTok and was proceeding to look for a practitioner to do the work for her. She found one after 3 tries. Sidebar, use your discernment when it comes to trying to find a practitioner, okay? So she found somebody. The woman charged her, I want to say it was like $275, and that was it. And then she blocked her. So a few weeks went by, maybe 3 weeks went by. She hits my friend back. I just so happened to be over her house at the time. And she was like, I don't understand what's happening. I tried to reach out to her. She's not taking my call. And things, it's just something don't feel right. Things, he's not acting the way I thought he would. Okay? So my friend now, she's like, okay, well, let's do a consult. I will do that. Because see, as true practitioners, we don't work behind each other, not unless your spirit teams tells you to do so. You know what I mean? But that's a conversation for another day. So she gave her a consult. I mean, I didn't say anything because it wasn't my consult. I was just sitting there listening. So she gave her the consult, and she told her everything the lady said to her that she remembered. And that, you know what, he's not acting right. So my friend was like, what do you mean he's not acting right? Describe to me what you're talking about. She said, he's very mean. He's aggravated by me. I annoy him now. And something just ain't right. So let me explain to you what happens when a person gets a love spell done, okay? Just say the client goes to a practitioner to get the work done. There are spirits, dark spirits, that you basically summon to go to that man, speak in his ear, say your name, I only want you, I don't want anybody else, I'm leaving all my side chicks, whatever the case may be. His particular spirits that he carries may not be with that shit. So therefore, they're going to fight against each other. Remember, the fight is always in the spirit realm, in the principality, not in the physical, okay? Not in the physical. So he's getting angry and aggravated and everything because his spirits are actually fighting against those entities that were summoned to go to him. So what happened next? Her, and now he's in a prison, serving life, basically, for something that really wasn't his fault. You see what I'm saying? But let me tell you how that goes down. After that particular situation, there is karma to be paid, and there's serious blowback on that. So not only did the blowback come to her, unfortunately, the blowback and that karma goes back on that practitioner as well. I'm just saying, I'm not trying to scare y'all. The truth is the truth. It is what it is. This is why I have never done love work. The only type of love work I do is self-love. That's it. And I'm even skeptical about doing that. But that's the nature of when you get a love spell. It is that serious. Not everybody's spirits go along with that shit. For real, for real. They don't go along with it. So when that happens, you can get hurt. You can, have something fatal happen. Anything. And let me tell you, love spells are not permanent. They're temporary. So you got to go back again when you notice that the person is straying away. You got to go back again. Go back again. You got to get stronger work. Stronger work. Yo, that's too much work for me. Period. I'm not even interested in doing all that. Excuse me. Now, I ain't gonna say now, but what I've always told people when they come to me about love spells, why don't you do some work on yourself? I can give you a reading to find out what you need to work on for yourself so that you can heal yourself, elevate, and attract a better type of mate. That's what I will offer you. But no, I tell people all the time on IG, please stop inboxing me about love work. I do not fool with it. It ain't worth all that to me. Absolutely not. But I just wanted to share that with you. Be careful when you get these love spells, because the person that you want this spell to work on their spirits may not want it. And trust me, that shit is going to come full circle and come back on you. So be careful.
Snacks in hand, the vibe is set, and once I start, you won't forget. Don't eat too much, cause you gotta stay fine. But come on, bestie, Shh. Yeah. Hi, bestie. I missed you. Go ahead, hurry up. Get your snack. Get your rolling equipment. It's time. First of all, there's a lot of newcomers, new followers. Hi. Welcome to the family. Also, a lot of you guys want to buy the book, and someone in the comment asked me to do a Valentine's Day sale, so yes, I'm gonna do it. So for those of you that want to try the ebook for yourself, use code LOVE, LOVE, for 20% off. It's going to end right after Valentine's Day. I did a Christmas sale, I did a New Year's sale, and you guys showed out. So now we have a Valentine's Day sale. Thank you to that one person in the comment that asked me. I'm also dropping my song Valentine's Day too, okay? Okay, back to the story. For the sake of the story, let's call this person Rose. Now, Rose and her boyfriend had been together for 2 years, right? So they're out of like the honeymoon phase. Oh my God, I can't talk. So they pretty much like fight a lot, right? And so this all started over one really big fight that they had. It was to the point where they didn't speak for like a month, and within that month, he was so depressed, the boyfriend, that he took a trip with his family just to like get his head together. They visited other family, and this is where the story starts. So let's give the boyfriend a name. Let's call him Leon. So Leon is heartbroken. He's depressed. He just had a huge fight with Rose, right? They broke up. So his mom and his sister were supposed to take this small little road trip, so he decided to tag along. His mom was visiting an old friend. So they go. The road trip was pretty fun. He goes, he meets the old friend. So the friend was happy to see Leon because the last time she saw Leon was in diapers. So it was great conversations. They ended up talking about like the breakup and stuff like that. And so Leon was venting to her a little bit. And so the lady tells Leon, hey, I can help you fix your relationship. Leon is like, I'm all ears. How do I fix it? She said, don't worry. I will help you, but you have to do everything I say exactly as I say it. Leon is like, okay, great. But she doesn't say anything else. Like for the rest of the trip, she doesn't say anything about it up until that Leon is about to leave. So as Leon is about to leave out the door, she comes in with this little container. And in the container, there's like 3 little puff pastries. And Leon was like, oh my gosh, thank you, auntie. Thank you for this. And, I'm so glad to meet you. I'm glad I got to know you. And so she goes, no, that's not for you. Leon is like, who is it for? Is it for mom? She's like, no, it's for your girlfriend. And at first, Leon is like, huh? Okay, thank you. I will give it to her. And then she says to him, this is how you're going to fix your relationship. So he's like with puff pastries? She's like, yes. She says, give these to her and make sure she eats it warm. However, do not warm it in the microwave or the oven or nothing. Leave it in the sun for exactly 30 minutes so that it gets warm. Then give it to her. And as she's eating it, make sure you remind her how much you love her. Do exactly as I say, and your relationship will be just fine. Andrew, at that point, his mom and his sister was already in the car, so this is just a conversation between them. So he's like, okay, thanks, Auntie. They say their goodbyes, and Auntie reminded him, if you're gonna do this, do exactly as I say. If you're not gonna do it exactly how I tell you, don't do it at all. Leon is like, I heard you, Auntie, I heard you. So boom, they head back home. And really, Leon is not really thinking about doing it for real. But on his way home, he looks at Rose's story, and Rose is outside. Woohoo! For some reason, that pisses him off, and he's like, you know what? I am gonna do it. So he gets home, he puts the damn bowl in the sun for 30 minutes like he was told. It got warm, and he immediately went to her. Said, hey, I'm back from my trip. I missed you so much. I'm sorry. I don't care that we're fighting. Like, I brought you this. And she's like, aw, thank you so much, Leon. You're the best ever in the world. Duh. She takes the pastries. You know, she's just a girl. It's pastries. She starts eating it, and Leon is like, you know, I love you, right? Like, I don't want to lose you. I want our relationship to work, as she's eating it, just like he was told. Cool. That happened. She eats it, and Leon is like looking at her like, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? But nothing happens. Nothing happens. She eats it. They hang out. They go to sleep. Everything's fine. So next morning, they wake up to their door being banged on. Like, somebody's banging on the door. So they both get up like, who is this? Like, who's banging on the door like that? Only to realize that it's Rose's mom. So they open the door. Rose's mom walks inside, goes straight to Leon, and says to Leon, you gotta pack your shit and get out. Leon is looking really confused, like, what? So is Rose. Rose is like, what? Get out. Wait, Mom, what happened? Rose's mom looks at her like, do you know this man tried to do voodoo on you? Rose is like, what? Leon, voodoo? Mom, come on, like, what? And then she looks at Leon, and Leon looked guilty. So her face drops. Her face is like, excuse me? Like, why do you look like you're guilty? And so immediately, Rose's mom puts her purse down, takes out her anointing oil, started to anoint Rose, and starts anointing the apartment while yelling at him to get out. Rose is standing there looking very confused. She turned around, and Leon starts to pack his stuff so he can leave. And his face is still looking as guilty as ever. So Rose starts tearing up, and she's looking at Leon like, what is she talking about, and why do you look guilty? And as she's saying that, Rose's mom turned to Leon and asked him, like, what is it that you did? Like, what did you do, and why did you do it? Leon immediately started crying. And he starts apologizing. He's like, Rose, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't think it was something bad. Like, I didn't think it would be, I thought it was going to be harmless. So Rose is literally standing there in such shock looking at this man. She asks him, what's gonna happen to me? What was supposed to happen? What was the plan? And he goes, it was supposed to fix our relationship. But Rose is like, but what was gonna happen to me though? Like, right now, what's gonna happen to me right now that I know? And he's just looking at her all stupid like, I don't know. That answer just pissed her off, so she just looked at him and was like, get out. Like, get out. My mom is right. You need to get out. Because at this point, she's freaking out. She don't know what's going to happen to her. She don't even know what he did. And he seems to have done something, but don't know what he did. Like, what? And then she thought about it. She turned to her mom like, Mom, how did you know? Mom is like, I had a dream about it last night, and I knew I had to be here first thing in the morning. God told me to come here and make sure you were okay. Now, don't worry. You're going to be fine. You're going to be okay. Nothing's going to happen to you, but you need to let that man go. Now, Rose did turn out fine, thank God. Like, nothing bad happened to her. Besides having, like, a lot of nightmares, nothing else, like, bad really happened to her. So, Leon definitely did try to come back to talk to Rose, but at that point, Rose knew that she couldn't get back with him, and quite frankly, like, she didn't really want to hear anything from him. So she kind of like completely went no contact because she grew up in like a religious home. So after a situation where her significant other tried to literally do magic on her, like, she wasn't having it. But sometime later, she ended up seeing her ex's sister. Now, her and her ex's sister were always close. Like, obviously, she met her through, you know, her ex, but they always had that bond. And the ex's sister wasn't one of the girls, like, that just, you know, enabled their brother. Like, she was a girl's girl. And so she ended up telling Rose the tea. Come to find out, that friend that gave Leon the pastries for Rose, come to find out, she wanted her daughter to marry Leon. So those pastries were never even supposed to fix the relationship. It was supposed to break the relationship, which is exactly what it did. So that Leon can be single, and she tried to set up her daughter with Leon because Leon's parents did pretty good for themselves. And like I said, it was an old friend of his mom, and his mom wanted her daughter to marry into Leon's family. So yeah, that's the story, y'all. Rose is still standing on business. She says she's not going back to that man. She was really excited to tell me this story for y'all. Don't forget, I'm having a Valentine's Day sale on the ebook. When you're buying it, type in the code LOVE and you'll get 20% off, okay? Also, my song drops on Valentine's Day too, okay? Okay, I love you, bye. Oh, and don't forget to tell me what you was eating in the comments. We can't forget about that. Okay, I love you, bye.
So y'all know I do spell work for clients, and I'm gonna just say one thing to y'all. If you decide that you want to get a man who don't love you through spell work or through magic, it is very easy for somebody who is experienced in spell work to go back and cut that thread and get that man back to where he belongs. That's exactly what this working did. So in this working, this is my client, this is her man, this is the motherfucker who decided she wanted to use work to get this man. So basically, my client came to me and said, my man had work done on him. I said, he sure did. I can see it. I feel it. It's here. I do see it. That don't happen to everybody. Anyway, so I'm like, okay, we cut the thread. We removed the mask that she has put on him. Cause like she was using some deep stuff. Like I ain't gonna lie, Shawty was whoever she was working with. Y'all did a good job. Anyway, so he ended up going back to her. He left my client, went back to her. So she ends up being like absolutely fucking nuts. Like absolutely no. So anyway, my client comes to me and she's like, I need this work done. I'm like, cool, we doing a reversal. We getting your man back home. We did the reversal. Her man was home in like less than a month. Now, I do not control how fast or slow something works. But baby, her man is home. Yeah. I don't do nothing Spirit don't want me to do. So if it wasn't supposed to happen, Spirit wouldn't have let it happen. So don't come in my comments talking like, oh, this is bad. You don't do stuff like this. You don't do hoodoo. I do. Bye, y'all. No, I don't do this for everybody. So if you want to book a spell work consultation, you'll have to go through my link in the bio to do so. It's under the booking link. So other than that, I'll see y'all later.
Y'all out here doing love spells. You gonna get something you don't want. You gonna get somebody crazy. Somebody so obsessed with you, they won't let you go. They're gonna drive you crazy. They're gonna be so insecure. If you don't call them back on time, they're gonna think you're cheating. You try to go out with your friends, they want you to stay at home. They don't want nobody to have you. You did that spell to keep them. Now they want to be with you everywhere you go. You are not gonna have no space. You're not gonna be able to breathe around them too hard. They're gonna think something wrong. Before you do that stuff, man, you better think about what you're doing. Because that person come with a demon. Ain't nothing good in them. When you get tired of them, you want to let them go. And that person ain't going to let you go. That person going to take your life if you try to leave. And sometimes, the only way to break that spell is to get rid of you. That's the only way they going to lose you.
I think the karma for doing a love spell on somebody is that you get them. You get this.
The karma of a love spell is that you get the person. And this is probably going to go over a lot of people's heads, but yeah. Back in college, I was a spiritual worker. I did spiritual work full time. That's how I paid half of my tuition. That's how I was able to pay my way through college. Most of it. There was this one particular girl, this one particular client, and she just did not take no for an answer. After months and months of denying her, I finally agreed. And she threw hefty amounts of money to me. Now, before I do my spiritual work, I do divination. To make sure that you're even supposed to be breathing in the same direction as this person. She did not give a damn. This was a very wealthy man that she was binding herself to. And I understand why. This man was not broke. His net worth was very, very rich. but I gave her a full disclosure. I told her, I don't think it's a good idea for you to bind yourself to this individual. She was not taking no for an answer. After I gave her the full disclosure, she agreed, we moved forward. Like 3 months later, she came to me in a huge pain. She called me crying day and night, like, please undo the bond. Now mind you, I gave her a full disclosure. So I told her, I know someone who specifically does reverse work. And I referred her to them. And they told me, like, hey, this is not an easy case at all. I remember one day she was screaming on the phone, this guy is demonic, he's not human, he's not real, this guy is crazy. Apparently he was beating her, he was doing all kind of crazy stuff to her. She wanted no parts of that. I would say after almost a year, she finally broke from it all. Barely broke from it all. So for future best friends, bind yourself to nature. Like, bind yourself to 6 figures. Bind yourself to a job that you want. Do things like that. Never bind yourself to people because you really don't know what type of energy they are holding.
All right, warning. Do not do that obsession spell, okay? I'm going to tell you a creepy story about an obsession spell that pretty much backfired on a client. So, let's call the client Deja. Okay, so Deja comes to me. She wants a spell, an obsession spell. She sees all my reviews, okay? And she wants to get it on Cedric, okay? Now, at first, the spell worked. 3 days later, Cedric calls her. He's coming toward her. He wants to be around her all the time, right? But as things start progressing, because their relationship was toxic, and I warned her, reconciliation spell, not obsession, he became psycho. He started showing up to her work, showing up to the gym, being possessive, wanting her location 24/7. When she tried to ask for space, he panicked. You don't love me anymore. Why are you pulling away? The spell just worked a little too much. That's the problem.
Stop doing love spells on people. It never ends well and it always backfires. This is a lady that put not 1 but 2 love spells on a man. I am back with another spooky story. So we're gonna call the person who submitted the story Wanda. So Wanda said that honestly she never believed in love spells. She believed in timing and maybe she was just a little bit delusional. She said at that point we're gonna call the man Jonah. She had loved Jonah for years. She had met Jonah on vacation, and when they met out there she discovered that her and Jonah literally live walking distance away from each other back in the States. So Wanda's thinking, like, what are the odds she went on vacation and she just met her dream man? The best part is they only live 10 minutes away from each other in the States. So after vacation is over, they would continue their relationship. So when they got back to the States, long story short, life started playing a part in communication. So they weren't texting or going out for dates as much as Wanda would have hoped, considering this guy is literally 10 minutes away. Again, they would see each other here and there. They would still hook up, and about a year passes when Jonah tells Wanda that he was actually moving in with another girl. Now that totally broke something inside of Wanda. She said the way her heart dropped hearing that news, she felt like the next gal just swooped in and took her man. So she had to act, and she had to act fast. And that's when she did the first spell. Nothing extreme. She does the spell. So she does the spell, and 2 days later, he comes back to see her, and he's pretty much telling her like he feels like he made a mistake moving in with the other girl. He was telling her that he doesn't love her and that the girl is not even his girlfriend. She just needed a place to stay. He felt physically sick being away from Wanda. His chest would hurt when he tried to leave, and he was telling her like something just feels wrong without you. Wanda is thinking, oh my god, it worked. But the love felt off. So in the midst of Jonah seeing Wanda all the time, they get into a heated argument one night. And Jonah says to her, I love you, but it doesn't feel like it's mine. It feels like I'm being forced, and that scared Wanda. Wanda wanted to feel chosen. Wanda never wanted that man to feel entrapped or forced. Clearly, he wasn't happy. So maybe a second love spell would bring him that joy? I tell these spooky stories, and the ending of this story actually spooked me. If you want the full story, it's available on my YouTube page. As you can see, it's 21 minutes long, and neither TikTok or Instagram is paying me enough for 21 minutes. Make sure you go check out my YouTube, Rebecca's Journey, for the full story. And while you're there, check out all my other content that you haven't seen yet. And over in that video, I go into a lot of detail, so make sure you don't miss out. It's Rebecca's Journey on YouTube, just as it's spelled on this platform. Love you, my abducted humans. See y'all on YouTube.
These are the consequences of doing a love spell on a person. I came across the story on here. It was actually in Spanish, so I'm gonna go ahead and translate it to English, and I'll tag the original creator down here. So Gloria has been practicing witchcraft for the past 5 years, so much so that she has become very well known around her neighborhood, and she has a ton of clients. One day she was having a birthday party at her house, so she invited a bunch of her friends and a bunch of like her close neighbors. When she sees a girl that she didn't recognize enter her home, she assumed that this was probably one of her friends who had invited another friend. The girl goes up to her, introduces herself as Peggy, and tells Gloria that she needs her help, that she has fallen madly in love with this man that wants absolutely nothing to do with her. Gloria advised her against it and told her about all the consequences that come from love spells, that you can't mess with someone's free will. Peggy said that she didn't care, that whatever the consequences were, that she was willing to deal with it. The next day, Peggy went to Gloria's house and Peggy handed her a jar. In this jar, there was this white powder. Peggy told her to take a very small amount out of the jar and to add it to one of his alcoholic drinks. And to also do it on a Friday, because apparently Fridays are the most strongest days to do this stuff. That Friday, Peggy ended up having a huge party at her house where she invited just about everyone, including the boy and Gloria. As the party was going, everybody was dancing, singing, having a great time. Peggy starts getting a bunch of drinks ready for her friends. Gloria notices that Peggy takes one of the drinks and puts it to the side. She then opens the jar that she had in her pocket and she dumps all of the powder in the drink. Gloria right away runs over to Peggy and tells her, "That is too much. I told you to only give him a small amount. You have no idea the consequences that this is gonna create." Peggy then snaps at Gloria and tells her to mind her business, that this had nothing to do with her, that she already paid her for her work, and that whatever happens now, to just back off. Gloria pretty much wiped her hands clean and left it at that. The minute this guy took a sip of the drink, it was almost out of a movie scene. He became completely head over heels in love with Peggy and could not keep his hands off of her. The whole night they were just making out and all over each other. A few weeks go by and Peggy gives Gloria a call and tells her, "Hey, what you gave me worked amazing, but I no longer want to be with him. He has become way too obsessive, very toxico, to the point that he's even jealous of my own brothers. I wanted him, but not like this. I no longer want to be with him." Gloria told her there's nothing that she can do about it, that when she tried to interfere, that she had told her to mind her business, so that's exactly what she was gonna do. Weeks go by and Gloria ends up receiving news that literally chilled her to the bone. Apparently, Peggy had broken up with the guy, and when she did so, the guy became so insane that he drove his bike right off of a bridge, unaliving himself. All because of that spell. A month later, Peggy calls her terrified, crying her heart out, begging Gloria for help. She told her that after the boy had passed away, that she continues to see him in the home, that he wakes her up at night, that she hears his voice, that he still is around at all times, that even after he passed away, he continues to be obsessed over her, even after death.
I don't know if you guys believe in magic or whatever, but do not hire that Etsy witch. Don't hire that Etsy witch. I don't care how desperate you are. Don't hire that Etsy witch, because I did that one time and the guy died a few weeks later. And that's not the outcome I wanted, I swear. So don't do it, guys. But I didn't learn from my mistakes and I did it again. And that guy, he got in a car accident. He didn't die, but he got hurt really bad. So again, no Etsy witches. No.
Love spells gone wrong. Story time. So Jose and Maria have been married for over 15 years. They own a business, a home, they have 2 children, and Maria is currently pregnant with their 3rd child. Now, because Maria is put on bed rest during this pregnancy, she can no longer go to work. So that means that her and Jose have to hire a new secretary to pull her weight. Now, Susie is 24, straight out of college, very beautiful and intelligent, so she applies for the job and she gets it. But Jose and Susie are talking, they're flirting, and within a couple of weeks, they're in a full-blown affair. But his mother warns him, you know you have a family at home, you can't be doing this. Jose tells his mom, you just take care of my wife and baby while I'm at work. I got this. I pay the bills. So 2 months later, Jose and Susie are still going strong in their affair when one day Susie rolls over and says, hey, guess what? You're going to be a daddy again. I'm pregnant. His eyes were big as quarters because he knew if anyone found out about this woman or baby, he would lose everything, including his family. So Jose tries to talk Susie into having an abortion, but she says absolutely not. We intentionally created this child and I'm going to have it. He knew he could not piss Susie off or she could destroy his life in many ways. So he gets the idea to tell his family that he is stressed out at work, bogged down and depressed, and the best thing they can do is pack up and leave the country and just start over fresh. So to keep Susie at bay, Jose lies to her and says, look, I love you, and as soon as you have this baby, I'm going to leave my wife and kids and we're going to be together.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God, stop your fucking lying.
Susie's in shock. She can't believe that he's ready to make that kind of a commitment. The only problem was he was lying to her, and within a few weeks, when his wife had her baby, he packs his family up and moves them to America, leaving a pregnant Susie behind. When they left, Susie is calling Jose's phone, leaving voicemails, texting, blowing him up like, where the hell are you? So Susie tells her mom that Jose has ghosted her, and her mom informs her that Jose has moved his family to America. They're gone. She loses it. She starts blowing his phone up, calling and texting, you abandoned us. I'm gonna tell everyone. He just keeps lying. He says, wait, I did this for us. As soon as I get established and get more money, I'm gonna leave her and then bring you and the baby here and we'll be a family.
Why the fuck you lying?
6 more months goes by. She's had the baby and Jose has still not sent for her. He just keeps stringing her along. Well, she gets mad and says, look, Jose, if you don't get your ass on a plane and come get us, I'm coming to you. Do you understand? I can't be without you. He said, no, but I hope you understand. I don't want nothing to do with you or your bastard. Don't contact me again. So at this point, Susie is stressing. She has no income, no transportation, no family support, no help from Jose. She doesn't know how she's going to take care of this child. So she went to a local village healer to try to get some help. Susie told the healer, I need a love spell, the strongest one you got. And the healer responded, are you sure you can afford this? Because this is going to cost a lot more than money. Susie got on her knees and said, I don't care. I will pay whatever price it costs. Just make this man come back to me. The healer said, okay, but you understand the price for this, and Susie cut him off. I don't care what the price is. Just do it. The healer said, take this herb, grind it up real fine, add some blood from your menstrual cycle, cut some hair from your head and his, grind it all up real fine, and then put it in his food. He must eat this before or after Schmegs. Doesn't matter which, but make sure he eats it all. Understand, once you do this, that man is not going to leave you alone. She said, well, good, that's what I want. Susie finds out through the grapevine that Jose is coming back to their country just for a couple of days to get the rest of his family's belongings and to tie up some loose ends, and she knows that's when she's going to have to do it. On the day that he returns, Susie put on her sexiest outfit and goes to the airport, and as soon as Jose stepped off that plane, Susie bumped into him and said, hey, stranger. Jose is like, oh, hey. She said, it's okay, I'm not mad anymore. I've gotten over all that. And Jose was dumb enough to fall for it. He thought, wow, I can hook up with her tonight and nobody would ever know and just go get my family stuff tomorrow. And of course, just like we all predicted, he wound up in a hotel room making love to Susie all night. While he was asleep, Susie cut his hair, her hair, and she even took a patch of the baby's hair to make sure it was stronger. She put that herb and her blood in it, mixed it up, and served him breakfast. Jose was so drained from the night before that he ate up every single morsel of that meal. He didn't miss a crumb, and Susie just stood there smiling because she knew she was about to get what she wanted. Susie tries to cuddle with Jose, and that's when he jumps up. I have to go. I made a mistake. We can't do this again. She said, okay, have a nice day. She wasn't mad or worried at all because she knew he was coming back to her. So they leave the hotel, and then Susie sits by the phone waiting on his call, just praying that the spell worked. So 2 days later, Jose calls her and says, hey, I've left my wife and kids. You're all I think about. I want you. I need you. I'm coming back to you. She said, well, good. Hurry. Well, later that day, Jose called her 3 more times back to back, but she missed the first 2 calls, and when she answered the third time, he was screaming at her, where the hell are you? Who are you with? Are you cheating on me? You better not be with another man. Why didn't you answer the phone? Susie thought, that's really weird. He's never been jealous over me before, so it must be a side effect of the spell. That's good because it means the spell is working. But when he arrived 2 days later, Jose's behavior was out of control. He grabbed her by her arm and started screaming, where were you? Who are you with? Why didn't you answer the phone? Then his whole mood changes. He apologizes to her. He says, I'm so sorry. I love you and the baby. I would never hurt you. Please, I want y'all to come live with me. When they get in the hotel room, Susie gives the baby a bath, and then she lays on the bed and starts playing with the baby, and then Jose looks over and says, "You love that baby more than me, don't you? You spend too much time with him. You love him too much. You're going to choose him over me. When he gets older, you're going to marry him and be with him, aren't you?" Susie said, "No, what are you talking about? He's our baby. We created him. We should both love him the same." This man is losing it because of that spell. All he can think about is Susie cheating on him or leaving him. Jose picked the baby up and said, "You have to choose now, either me or the baby." Susie said, "Why? He's our baby." He said, "Choose." She said, "I'll always choose you over everyone." He said, "Then you won't mind me doing this." And then he opened the balcony sliding door, took the baby out and held him over the balcony. She said, "No, wait, what are you doing? That's our baby." He said, "But you can't love him and me, so we have to get rid of him." And then he dropped him. Before she could even grasp what was going on, Jose lunged at her, put his hands around her neck, and began choking her until she passed out. When Susie finally came to, she felt the cold wind blowing through her hair. She felt Jose's arms wrapped tightly around her, and that's when she heard him say, "Susie, I love you, only you, forever." And then she realized they were falling from the hotel balcony.
Y'all be careful out here, because what they're saying is starting to prove to be right. Y'all are doing love spells on people, and guess what? Love spells come with a spirit of envy and jealousy, and ultimately it can come with a spirit of homicide. This is proving to be true. A lot of people are telling the stories that they're doing love spells to people, and guess what? They're telling their friends that they have done it, and then boom, these people are becoming unalive. So y'all be careful of this love spell. The Bible even talks about this, and it makes perfect sense. The Bible says that jealousy and envy is as cruel as the grave, which means that it comes with the ability to murder because you're enraged. Your mind has been hijacked. You're not in a sound state of mind. So guess what? The enemy comes to do what? Kill, steal, and to destroy. So you really have set yourself up what you thought is something cute to do a love spell. If somebody don't want you, they just don't want you, child. And if you got to do love spells in order to get people, I mean, come on, you got to do something different. Go to the gym, do something. But this stuff is unaliving people, and y'all need to be careful. I heard the witch that was on Hardly Initiated podcast, she said, yeah, the witchcraft works and they get what they want, but ultimately in the end, what they don't see is what they have given up. So you have given up a whole lot just to cast a spell and to have this spell to be able to work, because witchcraft does work and it works quickly, but the backlash of that witchcraft is what people don't understand, that they have really ultimately paid a price for. So y'all be careful, because envy, when you decide you don't want that person no more, but the love spell is still in effect, those people have a jealousy and an envy spirit, and envy and jealousy is as cruel as the grave. You guys be careful. It's just not worth it. Who's ever meant for you will be for you. Don't go into the realms of the spirit trying to possess anyone's mind, soul, and because witchcraft is really you taking over a person's self-will. You're taking over a person's self-will. Everyone has free will. Don't hijack somebody's self-will to make them fall in love with you, because it is costing people a whole lot more than they ever were willing to pay. Be careful.
He was using her as a cum dumpster, and she still wanted to do a honey jar on him. My client Tessa was madly in love with the married man. Of course, she never told me he was a married man. She just assumed I wouldn't see it through the divination. Tessa tells me how this man does her like nobody has ever done her before. How he treats her right, pays her bills, takes her on nice trips, and when I mentioned the wife, she got silent. I had to tell her, hey, it's no worries, you're in the no judgment zone, but let's not start off dishonest. And then I proceeded to do further divination. The divination came back that she did not need to do a honey jar on him. He was never leaving his wife, and then one of her ancestors chimed in, he's only with her because she lets him use her as a cum dumpster. And I thought that was it, but the spirit kept going. The spirit says he likes her because there's no consequences. She gets knocked up, she's taking a plan B, going to the clinic, or drinking some rude tea. Meanwhile, he's loving on the wife, keep making babies with the wife, and leaving Tessa on the sidelines. Baby, that ancestor was pissed. I thought that ancestor was done, but nope, she kept going. That ancestor said she keeps walking past Travis, who got a great job, great benefits, long dick, is a provider, and extremely loyal. So I say, Tessa, you are with this guy who's not really treating you the way you need to be treated, not giving you everything. You're accepting what's beneath you. Is there someone else in your life who is better suited for you? She says, there's no one. It's just me. There's nobody who wants me. So, of course, I say, okay, I don't press it. I ask her, I say, what do you want in a spouse? Tessa started naming all these qualities she wanted, and each quality she said, the ancestor said that Travis had it. But after I told her that the guy she was dating wasn't the one for her and she shouldn't do a honey jar on him, she really didn't want to talk to me anymore. And at that point, I realized she's either going to just do a honey jar or she's going to pay someone to do it. But before we got off the phone, I let her know that one of her ancestors told me that Travis was the one she was supposed to be with. Travis was her soulmate. The ancestor chimes in again and says, thanks for telling her. She's not going to listen, but I'm going to go tell her in her dreams and we'll see if she listens. A year and a half later, I see Tessa on my schedule again. So it comes time for our call. We get on the phone and she starts telling me who she was. Now, I remembered her, but I let her fill me in. And within the first 3 minutes of the call, she let me know that she did end up putting him in a honey jar and her life went to shit. She was up for a promotion at her job. She did not get it. She was trying to buy a house. She could not get it. She was thinking she was cursed, but she went to another reader because she didn't want to come back to me. And the reader told her it was because of the honey jar. So then she booked a reading with me because she needed a way forward. Tessa proceeds to tell me, well, you did tell me about Travis, and then I had a dream about Travis too. I let her know what the ancestor said because I remembered it vividly. And as I'm talking to her, I say, hey, are you pregnant? Because I saw a little baby like crawling around. Tessa says, no, I'm not pregnant. His wife is pregnant. She then says, and I found out he has another woman on the side besides me. Then she started to break down and cry. And y'all know me, I'm going to give you your space to cry and hold your hand through it. Because we are all human. We all make mistakes and nobody is perfect. And yes, she received warnings from me and her ancestors, but so what? We all human. So after she calms down, I walk her through how to undo the honey jar. I also give her a cord cutting ritual and explain the purpose of it severing ties between her and the married man. I congratulated her on her growth and her seeing the best way forward for herself. So then we proceeded to talk about what she wanted in a spouse. Now, I couldn't remember Travis's name, but I remembered it started with a T. So she starts telling me everything she wants in a spouse. Then I proceed to ask her again. I said, is there somebody else? She goes on to say, well, you mentioned Travis, but I haven't been able to see it up until recently. However, he's now in a relationship. As she says that, as she's talking, I get a vision of a man just angry, banging on the door, just banging and banging. Before I can go deeper into the vision, that same ancestor from before says she gonna have to move because the married man is about to go through some traumatic things and he's going to be triggered. He's not going to let her walk away. The ancestor tells me that Tessa is not going to do the cord cutting nor removal of the honey jar because she wants him to suffer. In fact, she's already done a sour jar on him, but she didn't do a cord cutting first. So I knew we were in for a world of trouble because Tessa don't like to listen. But this is not my first rodeo, and at that point I had already seen that her and Travis were going to be together. I just had to get her through this rough patch. So I walk her through how to do the cord cutting, and then I proceed to tell her about her ancestors. She previously had an ancestor altar up, but when things stopped going her way, she took the ancestor altar down. She blamed them versus taking accountability for her own actions. I tell her she's going to have to move, and she needs to put that ancestor altar back up to protect herself. You can't be out here doing spells with no protection, especially throwing curses. She says, well, my lease is up and I was thinking about moving back home. She asked me, could I do a reading on that? And I did the reading, pulled the cards, and it said that her hometown, Dallas, would be a great fit for her. And then I heard that same ancestor say, yeah, send her home to Travis. So I asked her, I say, well, is Travis in Dallas? And she says, yeah, he is. He moved back there a few months ago, but he's in a relationship. I say, that's okay. We're not going to break them up. You have your own problems to deal with. We'll let fate work it out. About 4 months later, Tessa messages me and says, you won't believe it. The married man was arrested for property damage. He had broken into Tessa's old apartment and destroyed the place. He thought she was still living there, but someone else had moved in. So I asked her, I say, so now that that's over, do you want to move back to the West Coast? She goes, no, I love it here. I forgot how great it was in Dallas. So I was happy that she was happy. So a few months go by and I see her on my schedule again. And I know it's always something with her. So I was like, okay, let's go. We get on the phone and she says, Luna, almost 2 years later and I'm finally ready to listen. She goes, I want to do a honey jar on Travis.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
I was like, wait, what? How did we even get here? She goes on to explain that Travis and his girlfriend broke up a few months prior and that the girlfriend moved back to the West Coast. She was single, Travis was single, and she was ready to mingle. So I let her know this may be too soon, but let's do divination to see. We do the reading and it comes back it's way too soon. But she also wants to get promotion at her job, especially since she's been through so much trouble.
Cause you freaking fricks just can't ever be quenched. Your fantasies can't ever be quenched, can they? You freaking fricks! What will you learn? What will you learn? That your actions have consequences!
So I give her some money rituals to do, some road opening rituals to do, and I do divination on her, the new role. I give her warnings about some of the roadblocks that are going to be put in her way by her new boss. I give her spell work and prayers to soften the boss towards her. And since I had already done the divination on her and Travis, I told her, okay, I'm going to give you my version of the honey jar spell, but you have to wait 6 months to do it. She said, okay, fine. I promise. I've learned my lesson. Now listening to you. I didn't really believe her, but I said, okay. About 4 months later, I get an email from her saying, Luna, I know you said wait 6 months, but we've been on quite a few dates. We've been on vacation together and things are going great and I'm just going to do it. She goes, I'm going to keep you updated. Wish me luck. So she does the honey jar. Maybe about 7-8 months later, she sends me another email saying that they are engaged. And then she apologized for not listening. Of course, I had to let her know there's no reason to be sorry. This was a lesson that you had to learn and you had to see through. Tessa and Travis got married and they had their first child last year. In life, we can take the easy road or the hard road. Tessa chose the hard road, but still ended up happy. This means that it's not too late for you. And so what if you made some bad decisions? You can always come back.
Let me tell you something. Some of these women are so obsessed with a man, they want to put witchcraft on him. They do a love spell. They want him obsessed with them, right? But once you put that love spell on that man, and now he obsessed with you, guess what? Your ass might end up unalive. I don't care what. I don't want damn motherfucker that bad be walking around here putting witchcraft on somebody to make them want me. If I had to make a motherfucker want me, I don't want him. I don't understand. Who the fuck would even do that? Sometimes y'all be hearing about some of these women getting unalive. I hate to say it, somebody gonna get mad. Some of that be because they done put voodoo on that man. And now he is really obsessed with them. She tired on, she ready for a relationship to be over with now for whatever reason. And now he can't take it. Cause he gone crazy literally by her. Cause she did it. Man, let me tell you something. Ain't that much love in the fucking world. You gotta love yourself first. If I got to put, and I'm gonna tell you ways too in my next video, how they put the love spell on the man. Y'all be surprised what people will do to keep them a man. Stay tuned.